What if the secret to winning a war isn't just more ammunition, but a total transformation of the soldier's contract? Today, President Zelenskyy has just announced a massive, sweeping reform of the Ukrainian army, one that includes staggering pay increases for frontline troops. We're talking about combat contracts reaching up to 400,000 hryvnias. This isn't just a policy update, it's a desperate, high-stakes gamble to professionalize the defense of a nation under fire. Why now, and can Ukraine actually afford it? In the next 10 minutes, we break down the 3 pillars of Zelenskyy's new army reform, the specific timeline for the rollout starting this June, and how this moves Ukraine's defense expertise to a global level. We'll also look at the sharp warnings from analysts like an Applebaum on why the West's self-deterrence is Putin's biggest weapon. Stick around for the full breakdown. The news broke earlier today when President Zelenskyy outlined the new framework. According to a post from @Zelenskyy UA, the military command and the government have finalized a formula for change that begins implementation this June. The most striking detail is the financial overhaul. Zelenskyy stated that the minimum level for non-combat positions will be 30,000 hryvnias, but for those on the front lines, the pay will be several times higher. Specifically, for the infantry, those holding the line, special contracts will be introduced offering between 250,000 and 400,000 hryvnias. This reform also addresses a major pain point: the mobilized troops who have been serving for years. The president has instructed a new contract system that allows for phased discharge based on clear time-based criteria, starting as early as this year. Why such a massive shift now? It appears Ukraine is transitioning from a mobilization-heavy army to a professional contract-based force to sustain a long-term war of attrition. By increasing pay, they are incentivizing the most experienced soldiers to stay. However, analysts warn that military strength isn't just about paychecks. An Applebaum, posting under it, An Applebaum, argues that Russia can be contained and Ukraine can prevail, but it requires the West to stop its self-deterrence and see Putin for what he is, an enemy who is not invincible. Can the Ukrainian budget sustain these payments? It may rely on continued international financial aid and the long-range sanctions on Russian oil revenues Zelenskyy mentioned. Will this solve the manpower shortage? Possibly, as the phased discharge and higher pay might improve morale and recruitment for specialized roles. This reform has ripple effects across Europe and NATO. While Ukraine modernizes internally, NATO is simultaneously conducting major US-led exercises across the high north and eastern borders. NATO reports 15,500 troops are currently training with AI and multi-domain operations to strengthen deterrence. The regional reality is clear: while Ukraine professionalizes its soldiers, NATO is reinforcing the eastern flank to ensure that if the front shifts, the alliance is ready. Not everyone is convinced that this reform is the silver bullet. Critics suggest that massive pay raises during an economic crisis could lead to runaway inflation or resentment among the civilian population. Furthermore, some political figures in the West remain skeptical of the long-term commitment. For instance, an Applebaum cited an essay suggesting that figures like J.D. Vance have historically questioned the consensus on foreign intervention, which could signal future shifts in American support if the war continues without a clear end date. The real question isn't just if the soldiers will sign the contracts, but if the global financial system can keep the Ukrainian economy afloat long enough to pay them. If you want to stay updated on the front line of global security, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.